that might
What
be
about
next.
Tank? He's the new 140 pounder.
Tank ain't gonna come nowhere close to me. I can fucking guarantee you, Tank ain't gonna fight me, bro.
Why
He got, cause I'm gonna beat his ass. I'm gonna fuck him up. That's why. But
Do you have personal beef? Because you're chill careful when his name come up, your temperature rise.
Well, it's like that with a couple of people. You know, we done had Josh Taylor rematch one day. You know, that's at 147. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it ain't no personal beef. I don't even know Tank. I don't know him personally, nothing like that. So it's boxing beef. You know, so.
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from my dog, Regis Prograis. Now, obviously, for some of my USA fans who don't know, Regis Prograis is a top 10 fighter in the world right now. Regis Prograis I hold up in high esteems, to be fair, in terms of what a real fighter is. Josh Taylor and Prograis, that night when they fought each other, proved they were really, that performance was the last of a dying breed kind of performance. We don't see fights like that. Two men coming to get it. Two men coming to win. Two men not thinking, oh well, I'm making X amount of money anyway, so it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I'm just going to turn up, Billy Ho Saunders. Two men, oh well, I've been hit once, let me jump out. Billy Ho Saunders, no. Yeah? I'm coming to get it. Both men, they both wanted it, and they both fought like they wanted it. They both fought like they had everything to lose. We don't see fights like that no more. We see 9 times out of 10, yeah, in big fights, in unification fights, we see one man turn up who's the better man, and the other man turn up for a bag. Bottom line, we don't see no people really trying to put food on their table. We see lottery winning dons. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call them from now on. Lottery winning dons. People like Billy Ho Saunders, from me, yeah, they get as much respect as people who win the lottery from now on. I don't want to hear about, oh, but he's a fighter, but you must respect him. I respect Billy Ho Saunders as much as I respect someone for winning the lottery. Yeah, because we don't give people who win the lottery no credit. And you best believe that's how I stay giving Billy Ho no credit. Because all he did was win the lottery. Who can't do that? Who can't turn up, be hit once, and make 8 million? Try me. You, man, put 8 million in escrow, and we'll see what I can and can't do. Because I'll jump in there. You can hit me once, give me a little bruise on my eye, and I'll jump out. No problem. And then you can all suck me off for being the best fighter in the world. Oh, but YB. But YB, you got hit once and you warriored on for $8 million. You're such a warrior. Yeah, in fact, you know what? I like the sound of that. How about that? How about you, man, put 8 million in escrow, and I'll let Canelo Alvarez bruise my eye, and then you can all suck me off after for it. About how much of a warrior and how I worried on for 90 seconds. So until then, until you get my 8 million in the escrow, and until you suck me off for being a warrior, even though I quit after one punch, I don't want to hear no more about it. Yeah? I don't want to hear no more about it. No doubt. Because what we do know is, your man's Regis Prograis, he goes to work. Now, I know I've digressed a bit on this topic, but the bottom line is on this one, Regis Prograis is hungry for the beef. He's hungry for it. He stays looking for problems. We saw the fight with Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis. Now, get into this Tank business, and I'm glad really that I spent some time giving you the background, because you need to understand how I feel about Regis Prograis before we get to this next bit, because it's interesting. The interviewer said to Regis that, oh, Regis, you're quite a calm guy, but when I mention Tank, you get a bit emotional. Now, where that emotion comes from is the fact that Tank is doing pay-per-view shows. He's getting flowers for things he doesn't do. He doesn't fight unification fights. He doesn't fight undisputed fights. He doesn't fight the number one in his division. He fights scary looking ass people. He fights picked fighters. He fights the C-level. He fights easy nick belt kind of fights. Oh, look, there's an easy belt. Let's nick a belt and run off to another division. Let's just keep nicking rubbish belt. Let's keep fighting the C-level opponents. Gervonta Tank Davis is following the Adrian Broner way of doing things. Oh, I've fought at 8 different weight classes. Yeah, but you've never fought no one at them. because Broner beat Pauline Malignaggi at 147. Now, if you think that was really a 147 belt, you're delusional, because it wasn't. When Broner beat Pauline, it's that typical, well, I'll beat someone who's no good. Exactly what Gervonta Davis is doing, and I won't be surprised if Gervonta Davis fights someone at 147 if a belt becomes available. Because you best believe if some bum ends up with a belt at 147, Tank will be there. He'll be all over it on pay-per-view, talking about how he's a 17-weight world champion and how he's the best ever. Following that scary Adrian Broner Floyd Mayweather resume. Floyd loved fighting old and people who just have a belt, or people who just have a name for name's sake. He didn't want to fight the top at the time. Yeah? That's what he didn't want to do. And we can, in fact, you know what, scrap Floyd. Let's down Gervonta. And the reason it's important to down Gervonta is the fact that, guess what? Gervonta is young and he has power. People made excuses for Floyd. They said things like, well, you know, Floyd's hands are hurt and whatever else. Guess what? Tank Davis' hands ain't hurt. Tank Davis is as fresh as you like. He got no excuses. He's not old like Floyd. His hands aren't all bust up like Floyd. He's got power, unlike Floyd. So, really, what are we doing here? The reason Regis Prograis is mad and steaming when he hears Gervonta Tank Davis' name is because Tank is saying all the things Prograis is doing. Prograis wants the rematch of his hardest fight. He wants the big fights. He wants the big names. He wants to be the pay-per-view star. And he's prepared to earn it. He don't want no freebies. He don't want no free lunch. Gervonta Tank Davis stays talking, but he ain't doing the fighting. He ain't fought unification. He ain't fought undisputed. He's moving at weights, doing tactical things, but he ain't putting the work in. And that's why we heard the emotional reaction from Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis wants Tank. Now I've heard from some Tank fans. Tank beat Mario Kart. Yeah, fine. But guess what? Mario Kart ain't no Prograis. And if he is, prove it. I'm not disputing. I like Tank. I think, and that's why, if you know me, you know that I come down hardest on the fighters that I like and I rate, because I hold them to a higher standard. If you've been God gifted, that comes with a level of responsibility. Being God gifted, if you wait a minute, it's a contradiction. Oh, I'm God gifted, but I'm gonna stay fighting the scariest. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. If you're God gifted as you believe you are, prove it. Isn't it? God gifted doesn't mean, well, yeah, I've been gifted from God, but I'm gonna stay fighting scary fights. Stay fighting the tactical fights. It's a contradiction. And it proves you don't really believe what you're saying. Because if I believed I was God gifted, I'll be taking all smoke. And guess what? Prograis, he believes he is that. He wants Tank. He wants Tank badly. All he can think about is Tank. He thinks about Tank like the YB thinks about Tyrone, MTK Tyrone. Yeah? Tyrone Booth, I want you bad. I want you more than Prograis wants Tank. But guess what? Tank don't want to mention no Prograis. He wants to mention the random names ain't no one heard of. Like Mario Kart. Makes me laugh. Mario Kart puts on a good showing against Tank and all of a sudden he's a great fighter. Oh, Mario Kart was the best and whatever. What? We didn't know him. Let's be consistent here. No one knew him before he fought Tank. Just because Tank went life and death with him, don't mean he's suddenly a great fighter. Now he may be great in the future, but as of yet he hasn't proven a lick of anything. Mario Kart hasn't. Mario Barrios hasn't proven nothing to no one. Unfortunately, he's not got a belt. Yeah? But you best believe Josh Taylor has 4 belts. So if you listen, if you want to become a mandatory and prove yourself, Mario, go and beat Josh. And if you beat Josh, then fair play. But until then, until people start getting in there with the best and proving themselves, I'm done with Tank. And that's what Prograis is saying. Prograis called Tank out. Makes me laugh. Tank talks about Ryan Garcia. Why do you want to fight Ryan Garcia for? You went up to 140. Didn't no one ask you to go there? Step in there with Prograis. Oh, he's got no belt. It makes me laugh. Again, Leonard Ellerby and Floyd Mayweather. I can't stand them two. Floyd Mayweather is potentially one of the scariest promoters in history. One of the scariest promoters in history. Just scary. People have to suck Floyd off. Oh, well, he made loads of money. Again, the YB, I don't follow money. I don't follow belts. I follow the principle and the philosophy of the sport of boxing. Some of you dons love to suck money off. Well, that's what hoes do, yeah? You man are prostitutes. The YBN. The YB is about the sport. You prostitute dons, you stay doing what you're doing, yeah? You stay grabbing your ankles for Floyd, for Daddy Floyd to come from behind you and blow your back out for you. My back ain't getting blown out for no man. I don't care how much money he's made. I don't care how many belts it's got. My back is my back. Yeah? Your man's back is your daddy's back. How about that? Your daddy owns your back. And he blows it out when he chooses to. Because you love him too much. You stay loving him. Yeah? You stay begging for love juice from your man Floyd. To give you all the love juice in your back. That's what you be doing. Oh, but YB Floyd's worth 400 million and Floyd's got 10 belts. You man stay, each to their own. It's 2021. If you fruity dons want to keep milking Floyd for his love juice, stay doing it. It's good for you. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Yeah? But YB, he's got 5 belts and he's 400 million and... Yeah, stay milking. Stay milking Floyd's jeb end for him. That's good for you. I'm proud of you. Yeah? But me, not me. I'm not into that kind of stuff. That's on you, man. I'm with Prograis. I don't care about the pay-per-views. I don't care about whatever else. And you can tell that Gervonta and I actually think Tank, under the right leadership, would be about it. I mean, look at Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, yes, he's done some fruity things, but over time, he's proven himself. For example, he went up to 175 and beat Kovalev. Was that a bit fruity? Was that a bit like what Tank did? To an extent, however, we're now hearing Canelo wants to fight someone proper at 175. And to be honest, Alvarez already went up. His weight was 154, and he went up to 160 to fight Golovkin, which Golovkin was like Tank fighting Josh Taylor kind of thing, or even harder because Golovkin was a one-punch banger. That's the equivalent, or better yet. The equivalent would have been Tank going up to 135 and fighting Lomachenko, but guess what? Tank didn't want to do it. He stayed scary. Alvarez has already proven, he's already put his work in. The fact he wants to go up and keep going up, 4 weight divisions now, he went up from 154 to 160 to 168 to 175. And he fought a champion. That's like Tank going up to 147. He ain't doing that. If Tank goes up to 147 and fights Keith Thurman, which is the equivalent, because Keith Thurman's shot like Kovalev. If Tank Davis goes up to 147 and fights Keith Thurman, then he'll get some credit. But he ain't doing that. He ain't trying to fight no name, and that's the problem. He didn't want to fight Tevin Farmer. See how scary Floyd is. And unfortunately, it's starting to rub off on Tank. Slowly, this scariness is rubbing off on Tank. I believe Tank is about it, but he ain't under the right leadership. He's under the scary leadership, and I think Floyd doesn't want him to be as great as he can be. I think Floyd wants to always have him in his shadow. He doesn't want, because he knows Tank has power, something he didn't have. He knows that Tank has the ability to eclipse his light. And the fact that Floyd says things that are sus, I want Tank to outshine me, that tells me that Floyd's been thinking about these things. Now, do you think Floyd, knowing what Floyd's about, do you think he really wants another man outshining him? I don't think so. Oh, but YB, Floyd benefits. Floyd don't benefit from it like you think he does. Taking 10% or 20%, Floyd would rather be the main guy, yeah, than take 20% of another guy who eclipses him. I'm telling you now. That's just the truth of it. What Floyd says and what Floyd does are 2 different things. Floyd will keep Tank fighting old bums with no name who have nicked belts. That's what it will keep doing, as he's done. Because Tank's first missed opportunity for greatness was Lomachenko. What did Floyd do? Ran off. And now Teofimo took his work. Shocking. Big, that was a massive L, that was. Huge L. Potentially a catastrophic L for Tank's career. That kind of win makes or breaks your legacy, in my opinion. If Tank had knocked Lomachenko out, which he could have done, that would have made his career, his legacy. Now, How many fights are there really that can make your legacy? Yeah, well, if you beat Josh Taylor, but do you really want to do that? In terms of risk and reward, Tank going in there with Lomachenko was great risk reward. But they didn't want to do it. And now all you see really is a whole load of young fighters who are about it. There's no good risk reward out there no more. They're just hungry dons. Teofimo took your easy work for you. And now you got people like Prograis and whatnot, all the killers. And that's why you see Tank doing his fruity business of picking weights and running around the place. He don't want it. He don't. I mean, what big fights has he had in his own weight? I mean, we talk about Canelo Alvarez. Canelo went up a weight to 160 and fought Golovkin. When has Tank fought anyone of that caliber? I.e., the best in his division. I don't mean nick about. I mean, when has Tank moved up a division or even stayed in a division and wiped it out? Not even wiped it out. When has he fought the bona fide champion in his division? We all know roughly who's the best in each division. When has he done that? Yeah, he's moved up 3 weight divisions and he's fought no one in any of them. He hasn't dominated any weight division. It's super sad. And that's why Prograis is angry. And that's why Prograis wants to be in Tank's booty. And the way, listen, Prograis got Tank looking super scary. Why ain't Tank answering these calls? Why ain't he answering? Prograis out here. Prograis wants to eat. Tank stays talking about Ryan Garcia. Pretty looking ass. We all know Tank would run through Ryan Garcia. Too pretty. Yeah? We all know Tank will hang out the back of Ryan Garcia. What does that prove? When is Tank going to try and... When is Tank going to try and get some from someone like Prograis? That's a perfect fight for me, in my opinion. I mean, if you don't want to fight the best at 135, well, you got to fight the best somewhere, surely. Oops. Unless you're with Mayweather, you don't. Because if you're with Mayweather, guess what? You'll fight one Don, you'll fight one randomer here, one randomer there, which is when you look at his career. Look at Tank's career. Don't take my word for it. Look at his career. Randomer, small, randomer. They're either small or randomer. Small and blown up and out of shape, or they're a randomer. And I didn't mind initially because he was young, but now Tank's getting on now, 26 as such. I remember when Tank was 18, I swear down. And they were saying, well, Tank's young. That was the whole excuse initially. Tank's young. Now Tank's old or older. I mean, we're not talking a small amount of time here. We're talking 6-7 years later. 6-7 years later, and it's still he's young. I mean, you can't write this. And I see the writing on the wall for Tank. 7 years from now, when he's 35, or 30, whatever, they'll be saying the same thing. Oh, he's young, and oh, we don't have to chase anyone. We're the pay-per-view star. And Tank's scary team have the audacity to say things like, Josh Taylor ain't the real champion. Mario Kart's the real champion. Tank's the real champion. It's just sad. They're making a mockery of the sport, but you fruity Floyd Mayweather fans, you fruity Tank fans, you're the reason why. Because Floyd and Leonard Snouterby, yeah, Leonard Snouterby stays hanging out the back of all of you, man. Yeah, he pushes your ish right in for you. Floyd does. Floyd is your man's daddy. No doubt. So you man need to fix up because my dog Prograis looking to eat. What we need to know is when are you man gonna tell your man Tank to get this work from Prograis? Because us Prograis fans want to see it. Prograis fans want to see it. When are you going to tell your Don to fix up?